Greetings and welcome, fellow YouTubers. This week on the weekly update we have a look at a space flight combat simulation in Elite Dangerous, as well as looking at the Bioshock mod for Half-Life Alyx. All that coming up on this week's weekly update. Hi, greetings and welcome, fellow YouTubers. Yeah, firstly, sorry that I haven't been fully out most of this week, and I think over the next week, simply because we are currently on high mum alert. Yes, basically next week's my mum's coming over to visit at some point, so yeah, we are currently spending all of our free time trying to tidy up this place. It is looking like a bit of a construction site right now. And yeah, I know what you're thinking. A construction site isn't that bad if you're tidying up to be a construction site? Yeah, a construction site is after we've been tidying up. So now we've got to try and make sure everything's all sorted and ready and available for when the royal visit happens. So I do apologise if I'm going to be a bit lax on YouTube over the past week and over next week, because yeah, we're trying to get everything all sorted out, ready for when the royal visit, as I like to call it, when my mum's coming over. So yeah, cue the song from 3 Day Trolls in the Baggy called Mum's Coming to My House. Check that out, and that's exactly how I feel right now. Right, okay, so over the past week we did have a little look at two things. One of them was our Half-Life Alyx mods, Bioshock, and to be perfectly honest, I was actually quite impressed with this. Now, before I actually gave the Bioshock mod a try, I had a little look through the library and I thought there was quite a few things in there, quite a lot of interesting mods that I was doing. I saw one for Resident Evil and I saw one for Trespasser. Now, I played Trespasser a long time ago, and I remember there was like, it was supposed to be this. It didn't say it was in relation to Jurassic Park, but shortly after Jurassic Park came out, this was very, very much hinting that it was one of the sites for Jurassic Park. So I think that it was supposed to be for Jurassic Park. The whole option was that you get shipwrecked and you wake up on this island, and you find that this island is a bit of a test site, and you notice that there's some weird wild creatures and some stuff that are hanging around, and before you know it, you're attacked by raptors, T-Rexes and all other sort of monsters left, right and centre. And yeah, I used to love that game, and I thought it would be a good idea to give this a try. And when I tried it, I wasn't really impressed with Trespasser's mod on there. It seemed very blocky, but it could be an accurate representation of what Trespasser was back then. So when I started playing Bioshock the other day, I thought I was really impressed. I mean, they've obviously gotten some new voice actors in there to do some of the script, as well as they've done a lot of work on trying to recreate things like the air crash scenario, the air crash scene at the beginning, as well as going into the tower and the old bathysphere going down into the main area. It wasn't perfect, like it didn't completely recapture it. It was a completely different experience, but don't let that fact get you that get you down, because the fact was it was a really awesome playthrough that we did. Well, I wouldn't say a playthrough. I think I played through like 1 or 2 maps, and there are 8 maps in total. So maybe over time I will go through all of those, but I really want to try and see if I can mix it up a little bit. Yeah, I thought that it was really quite interesting how they try to bring in the whole Bioshock lore, such as like using the plasmids instead of weapons. So, I mean, you're given like the odd weapon here and there, but when they brought in like a plasmid, you started pouring out electricity out of the walls, and which is exactly what happened right near like the end of Half-Life Alyx. So it's using a lot of the Alyx mechanics gameplay mechanics that worked in Alyx to try and simulate some of the things that were plasmids in Bioshock, and I think they did that quite well. The only thing I thought was a bit of a problem was I only had one shot, one bullet. So that's still another thing that I don't like, is scavenging for bullets left, right and centre, and I only have like 2 or 3 bullets when I want to have like the full arsenal. I want to go in guns blazing and kicking ass. But yeah, this is more of you've got to take the stealthy approach, tactical thinking. You've got to try and think your way around without wasting a single bullet to be able to do what you need to get done. And yeah, it was good animations, a good storyline that I was putting into there, good graphics. It was a really enjoyable experience, and yeah, I probably will actually be continuing that along as we go. Okay, second up, another game that I really wanted to play for a very, very long time on VR was Elite Dangerous. Now, when Elite Dangerous first came out as VR, everyone was like, oh, this is like great on VR. I was like, oh, but I'm on PSVR, I'm on PlayStation VR. Are they ever going to get Elite Dangerous onto PlayStation VR? I'd say no, sorry, because bump maps technology, PlayStation would never ever be able to do it, because PlayStation sucks at certain areas and aspects, and there are lots of arguments going backwards and forwards, such as why bump maps and such. But the whole be-all and end-all was I could not play Elite Dangerous on PlayStation simply because the PlayStation couldn't support it. However, why I did play Elite Dangerous on the PlayStation, not the PlayStation VR, but the PlayStation itself, and I did get a fair bit of capital behind me, and say I was like doing passenger liners. I got a fair bit of money and I bought quite a lot of ships. But that being said, I think I kind of left it about 2-3 years ago, and I haven't touched it since. So when I started playing it earlier on this week, it was like I was playing it for the first time, because I've forgotten everything. I've forgotten how to fly the ship. I've forgotten how to take off, all the checklists. I've forgotten how to use the interfaces. I totally did not know what I was doing. So thankfully they had a training school or tuition tutorials to go through. I'm sure like the very first tutorial that I went on was a brand new tutorial to help you do like the whole package, try and get everything all working. Because when I went to the subsequent tutorials, I thought, okay, the subsequent tutorials, this is what I remember. I remember doing these way back when I first started. But the first tutorial, it seemed new, but it kind of took me through the whole thing and was more visually appealing. They had better graphics in the first tutorial. They had nice cinematics, especially when you came out and you saw the planet, and you say, "Wow, this is what humanity has become." It was like it was like what do developers want a brand new user to see when they go into into their universe? How do they want their first experience in the game to be? Now, way back in Star Citizen, I know we're talking about a different game. In Star Citizen, way back when everyone was spawning at this site called Port Olisar, They wanted the person's first experience in the universe to be, they wake up in their beds, they go to the station to call their ships, and when they walk out onto the planet, the universe opens up to them. They see the universe for the first time, and they see that they are standing on a platform out in space, hovering over a planet in the background, and you just can get into that spaceship of yours and just fly anywhere. You can fly down to the planet, you can fly off to the stars, and you can just do whatever you want. Well, you can't, but it gives the impression that you can do that. But and that's sort of like the first impression experience for all new users. Has got to be something that's really quite impactful. I think even Fallout, they did that as a first person experience, is when you do all like the missions inside the vault, and then you go through the vault exit sequence. You press in the buttons, the doors open, you get the sirens whirring off, and you walk out into the sunlight for the first time, and you are blinded by light, and that as your sight so slowly returns, you start to see the enormity of the wasteland, and you just see everything out in front of you, and you think, where to next? Yes, that's the answer. Where can I go to next? Yes, everywhere you see. So that's another first impression experience. And I think, going back to Elite Dangerous, I kind of think this is what they wanted to go with this tutorial, because although it's a new tutorial, they just put it in. It was a new tutorial. They just put it in there quite recently, and they zoomed it all the way up to the first one to make sure that it's the first one that you click. And their first time experience is you look up, and then you see all the mainframe of the internal superstructure of the space station you're in, and then you're seeing like these ships flying over you. Okay, so it is timed so that if you unfortunately, if you delayed and waited too long, which is what I did, then you will miss some of the spaceships going in and out. But another playthrough, I went up, I logged it and got into the seat, got up, took off, and I had to wait whilst this other massive ship just flew right over me, and you'd hear like the engines, and then once the area was clear, you went out through the main docking hole, or the exit corridor, as I think they call it. The sound is awesome. The sound really gets you as you get the vom 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 as you pass through that exit corridor, and you open up and you see the universe that's before you with this massive planet hovering over you with the rings that spread out further than what the planet's side, the rings spread out over you. And then the person is whispering in your ears saying about star travel and how that humanity has reached its pinnacle of evolution with this, and this is what we take for granted. I mean, it was an inspiring speech that he said. At the same time, you're seeing the universe for the first time. And I think that's good. I like these first impression experience, because once you've seen that, once you've done that, you don't really get the same feel for it again. So I think that it's important so that any new players get the right first impression experience when they kick it off. So after you've done all of the missions inside the first training level, then you can do the others, which aren't as graphically impressive or as cinematically structured as the first one, because it's what they created like many years ago. I think when I first played it, these were the tutorials that I was playing when I was first going on, and it kind of gives you like sort of idea that you're this space pilot. You've broken down, and you need help getting back up on your getting back up and running, and this person helps you out, which I think is also another way of like introducing yourself to the universe. But yeah. So once we've actually finished our training, and we went through all of the training course, so we went through like pilot training, learning to take off, learning to land, learning how to navigate the space maps, how to supercruise, how to mine, how to do a little bit of fighting, how to do a little bit more fighting, and how to do some more fighting. Yeah, we like our fighting. We do like our fighting. And then I decided to go off and just try and see if I can do one or two little courier missions before I ended the day. Yeah, I always kind of thought that, sorry, the other day I watched a YouTube video, about all different types of VR people there are. And one of the people that he was talking about was like the VR grandpa. And I was like thinking, yeah, this is what I'm going to be like, the VR grandpa who basically plugs himself into Elite and then just plays Elite Dangerous for like hours and hours and hours, and then just grinding through the missions, trying to find out everything left, right and centre, and just gets the HOTAS control panel and just fly around in his own spaceship, travelling the universe, all in his VR environment. Yeah, I thought that, and I thought, yeah, that is certainly going to be me. But when I think about it now, when I think about my experience of Elite in VR so far, and what we're going to be doing for it, is it really a good VR experience? I want to say yes, but no at the same time. See, the thing is, when you sit in that spaceship, yeah, I don't think Elite Dangerous is going to be the full-blown all-time in VR. You have to be in VR in Elite Dangerous. No, I don't think that it's going to be like that. You see, the thing is, I think of it along the same lines of how I see other games like No Man's Sky, because I said exactly the same thing with like No Man's Sky. The VR aspect is great for things like doing the exploration when you want to go out and do something new, such as like explore a planet, go to the end of the universe and look at the stars as they shine over you, and just like travel around having fun and exploring. But that's not what the main gameplay of Elite Dangerous is. The main gameplay of Elite Dangerous is the grind. The grind to get the money, the grind to get what you want, such as like delivering package missions, doing package deals, or doing passenger lines. So basically taking people from site A to site B, and then filling up at site B to take them over to site C, and then filling them up from site C to take them to site A, and round and round and round and round it goes to try and fill up your pocket and make your bank balance grows. And that is pretty much the majority of what you'll be doing inside Elite Dangerous. Now, whilst I was trying to do that in VR, I was kind of like straining a fair bit to like stay in VR. Look, say it's going to take me like 6 or 7 minutes just to get to this start. I want to take off my headset and go and do something, but I can't really do that because I need to keep on keeping my eye on that. However, if we play Elite Dangerous in 2D whilst doing the grind, you can like have it up on the screen whilst you go off, do what you need to do, read the latest manga. Because that's one of the things about these sort of games, is that it's going to take you ages just to do a simple task. And like that task is like flying from like A to flight B. So you want to like do that. You're making progress, and you want to kick back and relax and just chill out and like do your own thing. It's a relaxing game. So whilst you're like flying down these corridors, you might as well get on with the dishes. Or whilst you're doing something, you might want to read your latest manga or watch your latest read your latest book, or so on and so forth. Do other things while still playing the game. And that's the main point of these grinds, that you're doing the same thing repetitively over and over again to try and build up your capital so you can buy the next big ship. Unless you go into like battle and then you want to like put the headset on and then so go straight into combat. So yeah, I think that playing Elite Dangerous is going to be a mix of doing it in VR and doing it on 2D or flat screen, however you like to call it. So stay on flat screen for the grinds to try and get your money up, but go into VR to do the exploration and maybe in some of the combat. Because I'm sure I do like doing the combat in the VR as well, because that was pretty awesome. But yeah, there was also something else I wanted to say about this. Now, I know that someone else was having problems trying to access this on VR on their system. And to be perfectly honest, I actually think that I had the same problem myself. Now, I can't remember if there's two versions out there, one for VR and one for flat screen. But or if you might need to pay extra for the VR option, I don't know. I thought it was just one game that just had a VR update with it. I thought that, because like I said, I bought this on my system a long time ago, many years ago, and I can't remember, oops, sorry, knocking my camera out, and I can't remember what sort of things that I bought. I thought I just bought a basic standard one. Now, when I originally tried turning it on, I could not get it connecting to my VR, and that was a fair bit of a problem. But the way that I managed to get it to work in the end, I had to do a fair bit of fiddling around, and let's see if I can remember this now. I had to do a fair bit of fiddling around. So the way I got it was I logged into my Quest headset, connected it, turned on Steam VR, and then inside my headset, that would log me into not the VR home, but the Steam VR home version, where you can actually see the Steam VR games. And because Elite was one of the VR games, it would show up on my list of compatible VR games I could play. At the moment, I've only got 3: Half-Life Alyx, Elite Dangerous, and VR Chat. Those are the only 3 that I've got in there at the moment. So I clicked on Elite Dangerous, and that launched the program onto the computer. You can't see it in the headset at this moment because the next bit needs to be done on the computer. And that is, you then need to, I think it was coming up with like, copy the correct code which you want to do, such as like Elite Dangerous Orion, copy the code to that, paste that into the next section, go for any sort of login in service, because you need to log in with username, password, authorize that by going onto your emails. That will then authorize it to work onto that computer. And yeah, it did get a little bit manic trying to figure out how to actually log it in. So after I logged it in, after getting the authorization code from my emails, that logged in, I then selected Elite Dangerous, the basic one, not Horizon, but the basic one, because I want to give that one a little blast through before I go on to the updates. Once I got into that, it will then bring up a tiny window, which is what I'm seeing in the headset. So I would then change that to like full screen, windowed, borderless, so that when I'm trying to display, when I'm trying to stream it from OBS, you could actually see the in-game properly without it being set to a little bit of a corner. Another thing is that it was saying when you're trying to connect, when you're trying to play the game, that said you do not have the controllers because you need to have either a HOTAS controller or keyboard and mouse. Because the normal little standard controllers that come with the Quest does not consider as a suitable controller for when playing Eve. Elite, sorry, I had to try and get I'm getting my space games mixed up. So therefore, yeah, you had to make sure that you've got your, so I had to start typing away or start working away with the keyboard and mouse to say, yep, I've got a keyboard and mouse, this is what I'll be using before you actually accept that I will move on. And once it's moved on, and then you're in the game, and yeah. So, moving forward, I don't think I will be streaming the grinds because I'm sure you guys don't really want to see that. Unless maybe I want to do a like chill out day, like just chill out and relax whilst like travelling backwards and forwards and like talking to the community. Because I did say some time ago that it will be cool if I could do something whilst talking to the community. So when you're playing Elite Dangerous, yeah, let's just do this little courier job. It'll take me half an hour just to transfer this across the universe to my destination. And whilst I'm doing that, there's no storyline, nothing taxing mentally needs to be done. I could just sit back, relax, and chat to the people in chat. And that was something that I've kind of wanted to do for some time, just to chill out and chat to guys, chill out and chat to people, so when it happens. But so yeah, that'll be something to look forward to. But as I said, I don't think that I will be doing much of the grind up on stream. But whenever I'm going to be doing things like exploration, planetary surface exploration, taking vehicles out or doing something a little bit different, I hope that I can get the Zargon buzz, whatever. Basically, there's a random moment in game where like this massive alien ship comes down and well buzzes you before it flies off. It's like a scripted event, but I would very much like to get that captured in VR while streaming. So that would be cool to see if I can actually get that done. I'm not sure what the prerequisites to get that cutscene to happen, but yeah, I'm going to try and see if I can get that out there for you guys. Okay, so that's that for that. Let's get up onto the questions. Now again, these questions have come courtesy of my beard, MaxPSVR's beard, and yes, I have, in lieu of the royal visit this week, I have actually just managed to shaven it up a little bit, yeah, shaving it up a little bit. But yeah, MaxPSVR's beard has asked a couple of questions for this weekly update, so let's get on with them, shall we? Question number 1. Will you play Call of Duty Modern Warfare on this channel? Call of Duty Modern Warfare. I already have actually done a playthrough of that. Cause I played through Modern Warfare, especially like the no Russian airport scene. I did that one as well, but I don't think I actually was streaming that. I don't think I actually recorded that. So I just played through it as well. And see, the thing is, I don't really play much in the way of flat screen games, but I should. There are a lot of games that I do kind of want to start playing, proper games, which are like flat screen games, and Call of Duty would be one of them. I never really thought about streaming it because I didn't think there would be anything that anyone would be interested in. But if it comes down to Call of Duty, now this is something that's not a lot of people would agree with me on this. I probably might get a lot of flack on this, but to be perfectly honest, one of my favourite Call of Duty games, the one that I like the most, is Call of Duty Infinite Warfare. Watch out for that. Watch out for the hate. Yeah, I know people don't like Infinite Warfare, but I like it. It's a space game. Basically, it's Call of Duty in space. Spaceships. I love the Jackal Assault, the Jackal Assault mission, which is a VR mission that was a free download at the time. I'm not sure if you can still get it now. But every now and again, I like to play that out. But I really do like flying those spaceships. I really do like combat in the space. I think that was pretty awesome. I like the whole campaign. The campaign where you're flying this space cruiser and you go to parts of the solar system to try and take back your territory, and then final assault on the enemy base and the enemy space escalator. I love that campaign. I really did love that campaign. I loved that story. I loved that gameplay. And yeah, I know everyone else is hating on it, but to me, I think Infinite Warfare was one of my favourite ones and one that I get behind the most. Okay, question number 2. Will this channel always be mainly PSVR related channel, or do you plan to move your channel to different trends? Well, I was going to say this channel hasn't always been on PlayStation VR. Yes, it initially started up, well, I wouldn't even say this channel even started up with PlayStation VR. Many years back when I first started in like 2006, all this channel was a means to showcase some of my animations, like my space battle animations, or the cave sequence animations, or my stickmin animations. But recently, I think when the PlayStation VR came out, I thought of using this channel as to try and see if I can actually develop in the area of YouTubing. So therefore I started focusing on PlayStation VR. But the entirety of this channel hasn't always been a focus on PlayStation VR. Especially when we got things like Sci-Fi London. I've done things like the Sci-Fi London 48-hour film festival, which we actually do here in England. We haven't been able to do it over the past year or so, simply because of the COVID and quarantines. But when the 48-hour film festival goes on, I generally try to put the entries down in here. I even created a VR room in I can't remember what the actual name of the space was, but I created a VR room dedicated to advertising and showcasing the results for Sci-Fi London and our 48-hour film challenge. I also did a lot of animations. Some time ago, I tried to recreate a series of animations that I was working on. The Stickmen in Space, or the Space Stickmen. You say it fast, it gets a little bit rude, but yeah, the Space Stickmen. But unfortunately, due to time constraints, I haven't really been able to do anything very much on here. But yeah, there is a lot of things that I want to do on this channel outside of PSVR. So I want to do PSVR, PCVR, Quest VR. I also broke into things like the HoloLens, Portal Me, 360 camera reviews, animations, the 48-hour film festivals, and some of the live events that we were doing. Basically, there was just so much that was going on around me in my life that I wanted to take the camera to and film it just to bring it up to you on here. As I say, unfortunately, quarantine and the past 2 years have managed to put a bit of a crimp on that. and also work has put in a crimp on everything else. So at the moment, I am only doing a small, tiny, teeny percentage of what I want to do, simply because time constraints. I've got to work and everything. I've got to make money, so I can't focus on this as much as I want to. Let me see. Question 2. So, question 3. Do you plan to do YouTube full-time soon, or will it be your hobby? Plan. Someone once told me, how do you make God laugh? And the answer is, telling your plans. The idea is that I would love to be able to make YouTube a full-time career. I would love for YouTube to be my main source of income. Unfortunately, that doesn't happen. That's not happening. I'm not getting anything from YouTube. Until I get at least 1,000 subscribers, I don't get a single penny from YouTube. So for the moment, it's just a hobby. It's just a hobby that I'm doing, and then I'm using the money that I make from work to do this as my hobby. Now, if things change in the future, and then I suddenly start getting more subscribers, if I get over like 1,000 subscribers, money will start to come in, but it still won't be enough to actually live off. However, if it gets to a point where I could actively live off the income from YouTube, I would then switch tracks from working from the office to working on YouTube. Yeah, at that point, when I can actually actively say that my YouTube will be the dominant income, then I can say goodbye to my work job and focus entirely on my YouTube stuff. As I said before, that we're only doing a small, tiny percent of what I want to do here on YouTube at the moment. And if it does become a good career, if I do get good income, then this channel is going to explode with everything from, as I said, animations, festivals, reviews, looking at new technology, looking at everything that I just said previously. As I said, I am not going to say I'm not going to do that because it's not PSVR. I'm only going to say I'm not doing that because I'm not interested in it. If I am interested in it, then I'm going to do it. And my interest is in technology and gaming and what can become of the future, as well as anime. I do like myself a little bit of anime and manga and that sort of thing. So yeah, maybe I once did try a little thing, so like anime of the week, but unfortunately it didn't get a good result. I don't think people enjoyed it all that much. So, but yeah, if I can find something that I enjoy doing, and I'll do it, and if I have the time, I will work on it. Because don't forget, one of the things that I did work on previously was a Stickman in Space. That was supposed to be an entire animated series. And already in the animated series before, I left sort of like hints and things of things that are coming up, such as like Space Wolf 1 was supposed to be an entire series of space adventures on these this spaceship flying around protecting, defending Earth. And you've got like these people in these towers showcasing all the new technology that's going on and such. But yeah, unfortunately, I haven't been able to do any of that simply because I don't have time. But yeah, if I could make YouTube my thing, and I could actually work from home and then focus on YouTube, I'm sure you'll find a heck of a lot more stuff that's coming out of here, and more frequently, because I'll be able to focus on it. Number 4. what would you do if your videos began getting... Sorry, start again. Number 4, what would you do if your videos began getting recommended to more and more game audience? How would you feel? I would feel delighted. I would feel, I would actually feel quite excited and exhilarated. I mean, the other day I was like looking over my analytics. I see some of my games that I made like years back that are still being watched. I was thinking, okay, that's interesting. Over the past like week or so, I've got like 5 or 10 watches a day for a game called Static. And when I had a look at that, I think that had something like over like 15,000 views. I think that's like one of my top viewed videos. As well as another video which was my uncle plays PSVR for the first time. I think he's also one of my top viewed videos. I can see hundreds of, so not hundreds of thousands, but just thousands of views. I'm thinking, oh, that's quite nice, that's quite good. How can I turn those into subs? Yeah, I see like 15,000 views on this one video alone. Okay, so this one's getting all the views, is it? Nice, nice. Can I do anything to that to get people to make subs? I would love it if I could get like, say, 50. If each one of those views was a sub, that would be awesome. That would be my career started right there. So yeah, seeing my videos getting shown up, I think would be really quite cool. I think that would certainly brighten my day up as well. And if those views turned into subs, that would really make my day. Yeah, cool. So what have you got? What people inspired you to carry on YouTube as a hobby? Oh, now this one sounds like a simple question, but it is more complicated than you would think at first. See, originally, as I said earlier, I started out YouTube as a way of just like showcasing some of the animations that I did to prospective employees that never ever wanted to watch it. Such as like I made a little animation here or something there, just a little bit of a... I enjoyed making these animations. I wanted to make these animations. I did them in my spare time. I didn't think of any reason why I was doing that, because outside of just wanting to do it. So I made these animations and I put them up on YouTube, because sometimes when I was trying to showcase them to people, because some people wanted to see these animations, I had, back in like 2006, I had them down on CD and I was like trying to hand them out to people, and then someone said, oh, why don't you just put it up on YouTube and then people can view it on the web? Because then at that time YouTube really wasn't a thing. So okay, uploaded some of them onto YouTube, and instead of handing out like CDs to people and such, I just handed them the link to the website. I said they still didn't ever see them though, they still didn't get to watch them, but at least there was a way to try and put my stuff out there. And then round about, as I said, around about 2016, I had been trying for a goal for pretty much all of my life, a particular goal, something that something that I really desire, something that I really want, something that I would go after heart and soul. And the thing that I want, my goal in life at the moment, is to be able to quit the rat race before I die. Every day it's like a stroll into work. You have to travel to work. You work, then you waste like 8 or 9 hours of the day putting money into someone else's pocket, just so that you can then spend another hour or so home, or traveling home, and then fall asleep exhausted at the end of the day. That's work, and that's what I've done every single work day for pretty much most of the life, and I want to get out of it. I don't want to be working for someone else. I want to be working for myself. I want to find true, proper independence and not be in a place where someone upstairs might think, what happens if we do this? And then hundreds of thousands of people get laid off because they're made redundant. I don't want my career, my future, my life to be in the hands of someone upstairs that changes whims on an instant. So I want to try and find some way that I can make money for myself. Now, I've done many things before, such as I tried setting up a business. No one ever was interested in it, or I couldn't find anyone to sell my business to. I tried doing a little bit of online gaming, where I basically in RuneScape I managed to craft like a million credits online, and then I could sell it through eBay. And in one day I earned something like £76, and I thought, wow, that would work. And then my account got suspended because people didn't like the fact that I was doing that. So that was another dead end. I tried to do things like blacksmithing. So I tried to borrow a garage so that I can use, but my landlord said at that time, no, sorry, you can't use that, landlord, because it's too dangerous, and then proceeded to fill it up with all sorts of rubbish and junk that was even more dangerous than a heated stove. I tried to create a book. I thought, okay, let's try writing a book. So I spent 2 years writing a book, 1 year writing the book and another year spell checking the damn thing. And then I put it out into the world, put it out into the market. It was supposed to be the first of 3. It was supposed to be a trilogy book. So I put that out into the world, made $50. $50 for 2 years worth of work. So yeah, I never made a sequel to that, because although as much as we want to get the items to write our stories, write the imaginations that we got onto paper, the fact that it didn't pay, really kind of depressed me on that aspect. So therefore, yeah, I'm not going to spend another 2 years writing the second book, or another 4 years just writing 2 more books if it's not going to get anything. So that was the downside of that. And then we thought, YouTube. A lot of people seem to be going up on YouTube. I do have a YouTube challenge, so why don't we try and see if we can get YouTube up and running? No one's telling me to stop. Well, yeah, everyone's saying it's going to be hard to become a YouTube. I know you get to see people left, right and centre make over 1,000 subs in the space of a month, or even less than a week. But so I thought, let's try doing YouTube. What can I do on YouTube? I know, let's do a little bit of PlayStation VR, because I've always liked VR. I want to do something that I really enjoy, something that I really love, something that really is close to my heart. So I wanted to do VR, and as I was saying, VR was coming to PlayStation the first time in 20 or 30 years. I mean, 20 years, I think. Right back in the 1980s was the first time I actually had my first experience with VR, with the Virtuality Pod. So the VR was coming to PlayStation. I've got a PlayStation. I can get this. It's just a couple of hundred. I can afford this. So yeah, let me grab the headset and I'll start streaming my experience with this, and that's kind of how I started with the VR elements of my YouTube channel. But going forwards, so that was sort of the start of the YouTube channel. But going forward from that, I started watching other people get into the area. I mean, I'd like day one, I was on there, and I was like started streaming. I didn't see anyone else out there, but then I started seeing a couple of other people picking up on the idea, thinking, oh, they'll try and see if they can get into this as well. They'll try and get into it. So I saw like two people. One of them was PSVR Frank, and the other one was PSVR World. Now, PSVR Frank only had something like 300-400 subs at the time when I first met him, and I think we got quite along. We started doing a little bit of backwards and forwards. He gave me a couple of shout outs. I gave him a couple of shout outs, and he. I mean, I would like talk to him about some of the stuff that I was doing with Sci-Fi London, such as we had this event going on, this hack stock event, where basically we was like showcasing all this futuristic technology. We had such as like this portal me where people were putting on HoloLenses, and they can go into other rooms and like see things on the floor which were being broadcast from overside. We had lightsaber battles that were going on between Stratford and some other place in London. We had like little drones flying around with VR headsets that were about as tiny as your fingers, and we also had things like people that were in America that was view casing these events on Segways and iPads and using virtual presences, and the Hatstock events were like really tight. So I would like telling PSVR Frank about this, and it was exciting, and it was like, as I said, going backwards and forwards. But like I said, his channel kind of blew up. And as he kind of gained in popularity, I kind of got left behind him. So once he started becoming popular, I kind of left him alone, because once he's got like 10,000 followers, or actually I think it was around about 2,000 at that time, I decided, okay, he's a bit too, he's gone out of my reach now, sort of thing. But there was another YouTuber which was called PSVR World. I actually got into conversation with him as well. And one thing that was unique and special about his style was that it was all computer graphics. He had like these set up with him and Beep and other things that were going on in the world. And this inspired me to try and redo my computer graphics, my animations. It inspired me to get back into trying to do 3ds Max. So I cracked that baby out. I cracked out 3ds Max and started working on my Space Stick Men. And that's why I started doing the series from the Space Stick Men again, where all my weekly updates were all done via these animated stickmen in space, and that was sort of like the thing that I wanted my channel to be at that time. I wanted my channel to be like these animations of these stickmen, because they were doing like their top 10 favourite stuff. But that kind of broke down when I kind of got a bit of a bad response at one point. At one point, I was like doing the future of the PSVR Move, the Move 2.0. So I had like the news reporter like talking about it, whilst the main commander in the space station was saying about all the other things that was going on. But that was my worst like to dislike ratio video that I have ever had. Whenever I asked someone about it, why did they hate that video so much, it was simply because they didn't like the animations. They said it was old, outdated technology animations. So therefore I thought, oh, okay. If people don't like the animations, if I'm not getting views, or if people are unsubscribing because they don't like the animation, then maybe I should just can them and just not do them anymore. However, they're still around. I still do them every now and again because I still do want to do the animations. Sorry if people don't like it. Like I said, it's not like I'm making any money out of these anyway, so I'm still doing them. Although they're not going to be the main focus of what's going on. But you could say PSVR World was my main inspiration for trying to see if I can get the animations back up here. Even though they might not be great, but at least there's something. And it was something that I kind of wanted to expand in. So I did say that it was a bit more complicated to that question than original. Okay, 5. What people inspired you to carry on? Let me see. Question 6 will be my last question. Will you continue with the weekly updates? That's the last question. Question number 6. Will I continue with the weekly updates? Yes. I will be doing the weekly updates as long as I am able to do the weekly updates. The only times I wouldn't be doing the weekly updates is if other things happen. The problem with the weekly updates is that I have to spend my weekend doing it. So I only get like Saturday and Sunday off. So I spend Saturday filming, Sunday doing the editing. Ideally, I spend Saturday doing the videoing and Sunday doing the editing. Unfortunately, it doesn't always happen like that because I normally spend most of Saturday playing games, playing things like Star Citizen, just chilling out, relaxing, spending time with the missus, you know what, and then Sunday doing pretty much exactly the same things, chilling out, relaxing, spending time with the missus, and then late in the day, such as like today, I cram all of my like videoing and editing in within like the last few hours of the day, and then at the end of the day, round about like midnight, I managed to squeeze out a video. But yeah, I want to do the weekly updates simply because the weekly updates is my motivation to keep moving forwards. The weekly updates is supposed to be that force to say, okay, at the end of the week, you've got to talk about something. So, what are you going to talk about? Which gives me inspiration to actually do stuff during the weekdays. Gives me motivation, or give me that little push to do something in the during the days. So actually, so I have something to talk to you about. But I mean, if I did go full throttle with the YouTube channel, it won't just be the weekly updates that will keep on. There will be other videos like this that will be aimed at other sort of things. Because I do get a lot of inspiration, going back to the inspiration of other YouTubers. I get other YouTubers like Boogie2699 or whatever his number is, but Angry Joe and the Quartering, or you got all those type of YouTubers out there. Basically, all they do is they sit in front of you and they talk to you about stuff. They talk to you about the latest technology. I mean, got Review Tech USA, who's currently talking about the PlayStation 5, the Sony X, or you've got Linus Tech Tips that talks to you about all the latest and greatest in computer hardware and equipment. Or you got like Boogie that's just telling you about his own life. Or, as I said, Quartering, who's talking to you about how the far left social justice Puritans are raging about the latest things and want to cancel everything that I know and love. So yeah, I kind of want to do those videos as well, but like I said, I just don't have time to do these. At the moment, all I got time to do is maybe a couple of hours after I come home from work to do some streaming, and a weekend to push out one video. And if one video is that I can push out, then by God, I'm going to push that one video out. I would love to be able to like make 3 or 4 videos talking about IT and infrastructure and anything else that's going on in the world. But at the moment, I've got this one video, the weekly update, and with that weekly update, I cram everything in that I can think of for the week, which is probably why these last so long. I mean, I'm not sure how long this is coming up to, probably about an hour or so, but yeah, just talking about these questions and just getting the information out. Yeah, so answering the question, will I continue to do the weekly updates? Damn right I will be continuing to do the weekly updates. Yeah, unfortunately, unless there's something else that comes up that stops me from doing it over the weekend, such as personal things or other things. But yeah, in general, I will be continuing to do the weekly updates. And so, I think that's all that we can do for now. I think that is pretty much everything. As I said, there's a lot of other technologies and stuff and so on that's going on, and yeah. But that'll be for another time. I think we've spent too long on this video so far, and I see it's getting dark outside, and I've got to edit this. So hopefully this will be there by the end of the night. I hope you've enjoyed watching this as much as I've enjoyed in creating this. Guys, if you haven't done so far already, please don't forget to like and subscribe. And I'll see you guys out there.